going on, everybody? Demarco, Eric, and Nano here for episode 31 of the Deadlifts, Dogs, and Dad Jokes podcast. We're very excited here. This is round two, or I should say take two, with a guest we had a couple weeks ago. We had an issue. Somebody forgot to hit the record button. It was me. So we luckily, this guy he's a good friend of ours and colleague, and was very understanding, but he'll be coming on today. We're going for take two, and it's Casey Munsen. He is a colleague of both of ours. We came up together through the PT Foundations, Personal Trainer Foundations with Boston Sports Club, and he went on, moved over to Lifetime, and then went over to F45, and then now he has his own business and is currently just about to finish building out his own garage gym. So he's a absolute stud. Super nice guy, and I cannot wait. I'm especially excited to talk to him about his beautiful dog, Draco, who's a blue nose Pitbull. So it's going to be fun.
Look forward to it. What's up, man?
What's happening? Can you hear me?
Yeah, this is already better than last time. You're
right, perfect.
You got USA flag behind you.
Bruins jersey on. Loving it.
Bruins won. That was great.
I'm sorry?
I said Bruins won in overtime. That was great.
Oh, thank God. About time Pasternak scored again.
I know. Wait, is it recording on your end? We want to make sure.
Yeah, I got the prompt that it says it's recording.
All right, good.
Excellent. We don't want to have another record game.
Yeah, so this is take two. We already did the intro, so we're good to go there.
All right.
Obviously, we already had the combo from last time, so we'll rehash a lot of what we talked about. We'll just go through everything, and if you want to add anything, obviously, feel free to. So,
awesome.
What's going on? How you been? What's new? Start with that.
Not too much, man. Just trying to stay warm, man. These New England weather, man. It's 60 one day and 19 degrees the next, man. My heating bill can't figure it out.
Oh, geez.
Oh, seriously, yeah. HVAC systems are getting hammered right now.
You have a loaded barbell behind you. You just do that for show, or are you working out after or before?
That was just from my last client. I'm going to work out after, though. I already had one this morning.
Nice, man. Good stuff. Well, thanks for coming on again. We appreciate it. It's not always easy, especially like our schedules lining up and stuff like that. So.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me back. Round two.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll literally just start it out with kind of how we did last time. Just tell us about where you started, where you're at now.
Yeah, so when I first got started, I started with an internship at Mike Boyle's Strength and Conditioning, which was probably one of the greatest places I could have started. I know we talked about it before, but I went in there thinking, man, I know everything about working out. Then after my first day there, I realized I don't know a damn thing about working out. And I got to do a lot of reading and, get up to date on all the lingo for all the anatomy terms that were abbreviated that I didn't know. And so I just jumped back into just reading all the books and going and doing internships. They did an internship with Boston College, Boston University, Merrimack. I did some work with the USA Hockey Program and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I'm much more of a learner by doing than by reading. So I just had to get out there and kind of get my feet wet and kind of just jump in and get going with that. Yeah. And then after that, I went and I worked for the Junior Valley Warriors for a little while with their junior hockey program in their weight room. And after that, I ventured into the personal training realm. I started I did a Boston Sports Club for a little bit, and then I worked over at Lifetime, which was great. Great opportunity. Just the personal training world is just a little bit too salesy for me. So I kind of wanted to switch back into something different. And that brought me into starting an online business of training clients online and then building the gym that I'm sitting in now. So I had a gym at home, and it's a free place for all my clients. If you sign up online and you do online training with me, you can come to my gym and work out and get coaching for free as part of that program.
Great.
That's awesome. Pretty much where I am now, man. It's been a long journey. I've been at it for about 10 years now.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
That's great. So you were at Boyle's. It was like 2010 around that time, or was it earlier than that?
Yeah, right around there. I say now, I wish I kind of did my whole thing in reverse. Yeah. I wish I started off personal training and then got into Boyle's like later.
Yeah.
Because when I first got in there, I didn't really know much. And I got, not overwhelmed, but it was just so many different programs and different coaches, and everyone liked someone different. And there was so many new people to read and different programs and different exercises. And, it kind of got me in trouble, kind of jumping programs all the time and, trying different things here and different things there.
Yeah.
But I didn't know any better. And, I wanted to try everything. So like I say, I kind of wish that was at the other end and the personal training was at the beginning, but hey, we're here now. So, live and learn, but it's been a great experience so far.
Yeah. Now, like you said, the whole thing about reversing it, I totally agree. So even when I was at MBSC to start, that was my first training gig outside. I worked at a YMCA for like a really short period of time, but I had just graduated from college. So everything was so new. So for me, it was like you said, exactly what you were saying. It was overwhelming in a way. And there's just so many avenues you could take. It's like, okay, where do I start? Where do I go? And they throw you into the action, which is good. So your coaching group's pretty soon in. Their expectations are high for that, which is good. And the coaches there obviously are great. There's so much diversity there. So, but I feel like if I knew, what I know now going into it, I think as opposed to before, I think I would have had even better experience because I would have asked more questions and just been able to get more out of the experience. So I think you're probably in the same boat. Is that what you're alluding to?
Yeah, I agree because Mike's been doing it forever. He's already made all the mistakes. Like he doesn't need to go and make them. He can just tell you. But I mean, I'm the type of person I learn better by failing. Is you can tell me the stove's hot, but until I touch it, I'm not really going to believe it until I know for myself that it's hot. So, I kind of got to go and had to fail on my own a bunch of times and kind of fall on my face and, figure it out from there. And I mean, I feel like that's a little bit better for myself because I feel like I learned a lot more that way.
Totally.
But it was great, man. I do miss it. There was some great coaches there and you got to learn so much. I mean, it was great, but that was my first real training job. I had gone there in high school and worked out, but I had never worked there.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that was my first experience.
Not the last time I go through it really quick, but you mentioned you trained the high school groups and the college groups as well, or I think it was both, right?
Yeah, I did high school. I worked a lot with Austin Prep and Malden Catholic hockey.
Yep.
I did some of the pro groups in the summer. I also got the opportunity to work with the professional group and one session with not one session, but one like complete phase with the Olympic women's hockey team when Mike was actually working with the Red Sox and he was in spring training. So I was doing that when he was out there.
Yeah, exactly. When I was there, I think it was 2013. So Mike was with the Red Sox. So like he wasn't there a lot. So
yeah,
like
spring training.
The women's hockey team would be training a lot of times when I was in there. Man, they were amazing. They were strong as hell.
Yeah, that was a fun group. And then when the summertime came, it was them and the pros were back to back, and Mike was back from spring training, so he took them over, and I just moved up a half hour, and I took the pro group that was after them.
Yeah.
So I got moved from great athletes to great athletes. So it was a pretty easy transition there.
Yeah. And then you mentioned, so you did the route with your BSC, but where were you before that again? You had mentioned after Boyles. Where did you go?
I was up at Haverhill, up at the hockey rink up in Haverhill with the Warriors. Yeah, their junior hockey program. And then I also did some strength and conditioning with the youth programs there as well.
Oh, great. Wow. And then you did that for a little while, and then you went to BSC, or how did that work? I forget.
Yep, I went to Boston Sports Club after. I just wanted to try something different. I had been working big groups for a while. So I thought it'd be good to, maybe venture in, just try some one-on-one, see what that was what that avenue was like, and work with some different populations of people and get to learn some different things. It's not just, trying to get them as strong and athletic as possible. Some of them are coming back from injuries or have never even worked out before. So it was a different challenge, and, you don't learn if you don't challenge yourself. So I always wanted to, try something different. I had been working with hockey guys for so long, I kind of just fell in the groove. So it was kind of nice to just kind of change it up and stir the pot a little bit.
100%. And then you went from BSC Lifetime, and then you were there for a bit, and then Lifetime to F45, right?
Yeah, F45 for a little while. Kind of just wasn't really a good fit for me. I like to program. So when you take that kind of aspect away and you're not allowed to program, everything is, it's a great model. It's, you come in, you work out. but everything is on a timer. It's just so fast that sometimes it was hard to, get the coaching I thought that people needed. So it was kind of one of those ones where just wasn't a great fit for me. I'm not really a cheerleader. I like to take my time, and some sessions, you might take the whole hour session teaching someone, one movement.
Yeah.
And they don't like that. So, if it's 45-minute class, they don't want to do one thing the whole class. They're in there to, burn a certain amount of calories and get out. And that's another aspect I'm not a huge fan of, is the whole calories. I burned 700 calories. It was a great class. Well, what did you actually accomplish that class besides burning those calories? Did you learn anything? Did you improve on any of your lifts? Did you progress anywhere? So, that aspect was not really there. So just, time to move on. Just wasn't for me.
Yeah, you met Mark Wahlberg though, right? I think I saw a photo of that. You and Mark.
Yeah, he came in for a workout. He's a owner in that business, that franchise. So yeah, he came in and he was filming for one of his HBO shows and came in and did a workout. So
nice, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, there was more cameras there than people. It was kind of crazy. I had a mic on, and it was a little nutty, but it was a good experience.
Demarco, take over.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you get a chance to talk to Mark Wahlberg at all, or not really? He was just kind of doing his thing.
Yeah, we got to talk for a little bit. Actually, his brother Bob, he hung around and talked for a while and came back for a couple extra workouts. Man, he was awesome. Really good guy. They got a really good family.
They seem really cool. Yeah, I like.
Yeah, they were really down to earth.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good guy. Really good guy. Not one of those celebrities that you meet and your expectations, they kind of fall because they're not what you expected. What you see on TV is not what you get in person. But he was awesome. He was a great guy.
One of the things I really respect about Mark Wahlberg is his willingness to be humble and admit his past mistakes, and
totally.
kind of rise above them and do what he can to, do right by people. And he does a lot of philanthropic work, a lot of charity donations, and I think he gave like $100,000 to his church he grew up going to as kids. They could build out a rec center, basketball court.
That's big.
And no, he's a cool guy, man. He takes that money back into his hometown, which I respect.
Well, I think isn't his schedule ridiculous? Like he trains at like 3 a.m, doesn't he? Or he did at one point.
Yeah, he had some crazy schedules, like with his some of his filming and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'd be up at like 3 a.m, and his breakfast and cold showers. He's very regimented, but I mean, look at him. The dude's 50 years old and he's jacked out of his mind. Like
he's shredded. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in phenomenal shape. Yeah.
So it shows like just being dedicated and having some consistency in your training and your diet. It's going to go a long way because I mean that dude looks like he's in his 20s or in his 30s.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And one thing you mentioned earlier, Casey, that I totally can relate to is you mentioned you went to Mike Boyle's and you were just overwhelmed. There was like all the programs and systems and just being kind of overwhelmed and kind of bouncing around. Man, I was at a small gym and I was the only trainer there, but just from researching online, reading, T-Nation articles, watching YouTube videos, listening to podcasts, I kind of, not as intense as you, but I experienced the same experience where it was just like, oh my God, what should I do? Like 5x5? Should I do, should I do German volume training? Should I do the HFT method? Or, it's just, and it gets pretty insane. So it's, but I agree with you. It's, we've failed forward and we've learned and we've made mistakes and we've definitely gotten much better as a result. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, there's so much out there and it all looks so much fun. I mean, I'd be wanting to do one thing one week and I'd start reading something else. I'd be like, oh, I want to go try that now.
Right.
And it's funny because almost all of it works, right? It's like, will you be consistent? Will you do it consistently? And what are you after, right? Like F45, like that's not my style either. I will also take a full session for a movement, to really learn a movement because it's all about, the long game. We're thinking about, years, decades down the road. But F45, people want to come in, they want to kick ass, get the job done, and go home to their family, which I get that. And I think there's obviously there's a place for that because there are a lot of people that go to that. So it definitely comes down to what you're after.
Yeah, and you know what you're getting. 45 minutes in, 45 minutes out. You're in and out in 45 minutes. You know exactly what time you show up, what time you leave, and you're going to get a good sweat in and a good workout. So I mean, some people, that's all they need, and that's all they want. And you can't really force them into doing more than that. And that's a great place for them. And they found their home. There's a home for everyone.
Yeah. So how would you say your career has evolved since you started?
Now I'm just not so nervous about being wrong. Before I thought like if I was ever wrong about something or, I said the wrong thing or I picked the wrong exercise, it was going to be the end of the world and I'm going to be the worst trainer and I'm going to get bashed for it. Now I realize like you got to make mistakes. Like it's okay to fail. You got to be comfortable failing because you're never going to learn from your success. You're going to learn from what you do wrong and that's how you get better. And you can't be afraid of that. And that was my biggest thing is being afraid of failing and what other people were going to think if I did something wrong or maybe my athlete didn't have the perfect form right away. And, I wanted everything to be picture perfect, but we don't live in a perfect world. So and people learn at different, it takes people different times to learn different things. Some people pick it up quick and, some people pick it up really slow and that's okay. And not everything's going to be perfect right away. And that's what you got to work on. And don't be afraid to take a step back and let things go wrong and then reevaluate and figure it out after.
Yeah. Well, I like what you said too. You had mentioned this last time we did this about how like you trained the pro groups, right? Or you trained the Penguins even, and you have to go in not being starstruck, right? You got to go in being like, okay, you're here to help, serve the person in front of you. And just they're normal people, everyday people like us, right? So you can't think of them as like above you, essentially.
Exactly.
I mean, you kind of last time. I don't know if you want to elaborate a little bit more, but that was what you were talking about last time was awesome about that.
Yeah, man. The only thing that they're different than us is they're better athletes. I mean, they're still, they still go to bed, they still wake up, they put their pants on. Everything is the same. They just have a better skill set than than a lot of other people. And they're going to be no different. They're going to train no differently than a high school, hockey player. Maybe not as good. They're going to have similar movements. Yeah. Obviously, some are going to progress faster and the weights are going to be different, but you can't treat them differently than someone else. I mean, they're still a human being at the end of the day. And a lot of them, if you're there and they just think you're there because you like who they are as an athlete and you're impressed that they're a celebrity. Right. I mean, they're not going to really care what you have to say at the end of the day because they think you're just there to have them on your resume.
Yep, exactly. And you've mentioned it. You mentioned it before too. You're building relationships with them. You talked about like Grizzlick, right? You trained him for a while. You still touch base with him, right? And things like that.
Yeah, Matt was one of my first clients ever. I was an intern at Boyles, and he was in the college group. Yeah. Sam Dad was the head coach. Yep. Sam was one of the greatest guys I ever got to work with. He was awesome. He taught me so much, and he just gave me the reins. He never really tried to hold me back. He wanted me to be a great coach with him. So that was
a lot from Anthony as well, right?
Yeah, Anthony at BU, and he was great. Taught me so much. Those guys really took me under their wing, and they wanted me to succeed. And Matty was one of the young guys in the group, and we just became friends first. Like I didn't really know a lot at the time. Like I said, I was very new, and he was a good athlete. I didn't really know who he was, and I was like, I'm just going to be friends with this kid first, so he doesn't think I'm just some coach coming in here, some new intern that's just going to be a drill sergeant. And so I just try to find out who he was, what sports he played, kind of a little bit of his background about his family, and then started training, and we just became friends. And I tell a story all the time of just how dedicated he is. He actually tore his ACL when he was in college during the playoffs, and he played, I believe it was 5 games with a torn ACL. Had no idea, just thought it was hurt. Then season ended, went and had it looked at. It was torn, so he had to have surgery. And he was going through some rehab with the Bruins, and so he would rehab in the morning. And I called him and I told him, I said, hey, I know you got hurt. If there's anything I can do, just to help you out, let me know. Even if it's just going out to dinner, if you want to talk, whatever it is, you want to vent about your injury, whatever it is, I'm here to talk with you. And I was working in Haverhill at the time, and he was like, could I just come up and, do some workouts with you, just to hang out? And I said, yeah, sure. So he would rehab in the morning with the Bruins. He would go to BU after, shoot pucks, and then he would drive to Haverhill 3 to 4 times a week and train upper body.
Okay.
That's
Like
awesome.
so even though he was going through his injury, like everything, he was still, grinding and, moving forward, not one of these, oh, I'm hurt, I'm just going to sit in my room and sulk and wait till,
Play Xbox and eat Cheetos for the next 3 to 6 months.
Yeah.
He's up there hitting upper body and, he's doing his lower body stuff with the Bruins. So we didn't, touch that, but he'd just come up and we hit upper body stuff because he could still lift, he just had to stay away from that knee. And, his strength went through the roof. And, he came back and, he was like a whole new, he was completely fine. Nothing, no lag, injuries or anything that was happened after. He's been good. And, he's one of the most dedicated kids I've ever worked with. And, he's kind of one of those coaches' dreams.
Yeah. Well, I think you nailed it too, when you were saying, you went up to him and he was like back when he was like high school, right? Or when he was younger. So like, I think being yourself, like initially from the get-go is huge, it obviously works, right? So being able to, as Mike would say, be a certified nice person, right? Like, it starts with that, being able to just be a good person, not be like, an asshole and think you can train anybody. You know what I mean? That mentality won't get you far. Like you said, they're everyday people, but you got to just serve the person in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, no one wants to spend an hour every day with an asshole. So, like, if that's your personality, you're not going to last long in this field, unfortunately.
Yeah,
very true. You're going to come and go because, if you're mean, who the hell wants to hang out with you?
Right.
There's always a quote, no one cares about how much you know until they know how much you care. That's a big, I take that big into this when I go and meet new clients or taking on any new athletes or any of that.
Yeah.
No one cares about my education. They don't care about how much anatomy I can spew out or, what planes we're working on. None of that. They don't care. They want to know that I care, that they're going to get better, they're going to get stronger, and they're going to be a better athlete. That's what they care about. And as long as they know I care about that, then we're good to go. They don't need to know all the fancy lingo and, the big words that then I have to take 10 minutes to explain to them what that means. And it's not.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Not ask you what energy system they're training during their session.
No. Not any of that. None of that. We talk about their games and what they did all week. I need to find out what they've been doing outside the gym. I only get them for an hour. I need to know what those other 23 hours looks like.
Important, absolutely. Especially stress management and sleep and nutrition and all that stuff. Definitely.
Yeah, especially with kids being any athletes. God, there's just so much distractions now with the phones and everything else.
Yeah. Yep.
Next thing you know, they're up till 3 a.m. playing video games and getting up at 6 a.m. for a session. It's like, okay, we gotta change that around a little bit here.
Well, Casey, we were talking about it when Demarco had left last time. We were kind of talking about like social media could be great. Instagram could be good if you're using it for the right things. If you're using it as an education tool, then I think it's valuable. It's just people just go down the rabbit hole and do too much with it. So it's just being able to kind of go have a certain amount of time you go on there, but use it for the right things. It could. It's
overwhelming, man. There's just so much data and content on there. It's so overwhelming. So
the problem is anyone can post whatever they want.
Right.
And I always say you can get a yes answer to whatever question you have if you look hard enough on the internet.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You can find out if you can be true with anything you want. You just got to look hard enough and you'll find someone that agrees with you.
Yeah. So you and Demarco, you guys had PT Foundations together, right? Did you?
We did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take us
at Wellesley.
Take us through that a little bit. So, as far as
man, that's Casey's actually the first person I talked to there, other than when I met Albert, our instructor who did the fitness and training component.
Yeah.
And then who was it? John Badeau? He did the sales, right?
Yeah, I think he did the sales. Yeah.
Sales. Yeah. But no, Casey and I started talking, man, and it was just I could tell you were one of my kind of folks because we're talking about coaching and training. I was actually new to the Boston area, but like anybody as a coach, you know Mike Boyle. That's kind of a big name in the industry. So you mentioned Mike Boyle. We started talking. Very first thing I started talking about was, he's very controversial about the back squat, and we went and talked about that. Like 5 minutes into our conversation, he's emailing me like 5 ebooks. Like he sent me one of Dan John's ebooks. You sent me Strong Master 911 from like Joe DeFranco.
Kelly Starrett's Supple Leopard.
Supple Leopard. I mean, immediately sharing, knowledge and sharing, sharing literature, and it just immediately became a culture of giving, which I thought was neat because. Not to throw shade, and I don't know any of these people's names, so it doesn't really matter. But like, let's be honest, man. A lot of the young kids there, they were new to the game. They had no idea what they were walking into. They didn't realize that it was going to be a super high stress, pushy, really salesy, sharky position to be in, especially working for a company like that. And unfortunately, most of them probably are not trainers now. Like, I'm pretty sure most of them are not in the industry because it's like. I think the average duration of a training career for personal training is like 3 years.
Yeah,
it's like we last about as long as an NFL player.
So true.
Which is sad.
It's funny. You see kids in my internship. It was long. When I first started the internship, I think they switched it up now. There's like a morning and a night crew. So like certain groups come in the morning.
You're saying boils?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they used to have a morning and night. But when I first did it, it was you just got there and you were there all day.
All day.
Oh,
yep.
There would be people standing up against the squat rack and it looked like they were falling asleep. And I was like, oh, this isn't going to be for them. I mean, just being on your feet all day.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that's a thing that people need to realize, like getting into this field. I don't think it's talked about enough is this isn't a 9-to-5 job. Like you're not going to have a normal work hours, like especially if you want to take a lot of clients on, you're going to have some weird hours. Like you could work 5 hours in the morning, have 4 hours break in the afternoon, and then go back and work another 5 hours later.
Split shift.
Like your schedule is going to kind of be all over the place because you're going to have to work around your clients if you want to train them, because a lot of them have 9-to-5 jobs. So you're going to actually have to work around those 9 to 5, and you're going to have early mornings and late nights, and you're going to be on your feet a lot. I know we get to wear some cool clothes and be in gym shoes and sneakers and shorts and t-shirts all the time, but there's also a price that comes with that. You're going to be up a lot. There's not a lot of sitting.
Yep.
And ironically, a lot of times especially now being a first year dad, my baby just turned a year old. Like you'll have some days where it's the end of the day, and even though you're a trainer, you're exhausted and you don't want to work out. You still do it. Like guys like us, we'll still do it because we love the process and we have things we're chasing after. But like, there's so many days where I'm just drained, and I'm not even full time anymore. I'm mostly a stay at home dad, and I do a few sessions. But yeah, they're all at random hours. It's like I can do Sunday at 11:30 in the morning. Like, okay, sure, whatever. Especially when you're starting out, you gotta grind. You definitely gotta grind.
I mean, people say, oh, you're the trainer, you're probably like the healthiest person in the world. It's like, no, I just worked 9 hours. I had 3 coffees in a protein shake. Like I haven't even eaten yet today. And, so, your meals, sometimes you get in the mood, you get in the grind, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, I haven't eaten in like 4 hours. Like,
and you're starving. I mean, you're moving, you're on your feet. So you've been active, right? And you're not craving a chicken kale salad.
Yeah,
you're thinking about a chicken parm sub and a beer.
They'd be giving me crap at Lifetime all the time. We'd be having our staff meetings in Westwood. I'd be going over to Smash Burger and getting a big ass Smash Burger before our staff meeting.
Well, we had that. We remember the 5 guys we had right across the street from the gym, man. I snuck in there and hung out in the corner so people didn't see me. I'm so hungry, man.
Get those calories in.
Got to, man.
True. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Even when I was at NBSC, and this is when I was working in North Andover, with Bunky and stuff like that. I a lot of times, so I'd be in the morning, I'd be at BSC. I did BSC Woburn. So I go from BSC Woburn, we're training some clients in the morning, and then I go straight directly to North Andover to Boyles, and it was like I'd be starving. So there was a gap of like it's probably 6 hours where I wasn't eating at all.
Oh, so
it's one of those things but you have to kind of grind. I use the word grind, but it's kind of true. In the beginning, especially when you first start out, you got to kind of put the hours in. Then over time, you can kind of dictate more of what you want for a schedule. At least that's what I've learned.
Yeah, exactly. At the beginning, I mean, you just got to work. Like,
exactly.
put the
I
time.
use it to grind because like people overuse it, but in reality, it's like you gotta put a lot more work in initially to get out more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you got to figure out who you are as a coach. Like, what coaching cues are you going to use? What's going to work for you? And how are you going to get through to all your different clients? I mean, you could train the same person, and our approaches of how we reach that person could be completely different due to our personalities and our coaching strategies.
Definitely.
That's something that you're not going to learn in the first year of coaching.
No.
Oh God, no. Well, I think what's funny is I look back now, and it's funny how in the moment when something sucks, it sucks, right? Like if you have a flat tire or you worked a long ass day and you're exhausted and whatever. You know, I look back on my first few years as a trainer, and I was working crazy hours too. I was like showing up. I was opening the place up at 4:45 in the morning. You know, showing up 4:45 for 5 a.m. opening, training my morning clients. You know, getting a little bit of food, working out, training my afternoon clients. The gym didn't have a maintenance crew, a cleaning crew at the time. It's like really bare bones. So I would train, run the front desk, help out, fold towels, clean the gym at night, you know, pick up the towels off the floor, you know, freaking scrub the toilets. And I would be getting home at like 9, sometimes 10 o'clock at night, especially because I'm really disorganized as it is. So it always took me longer to get shit done. But man, I look back on that now and I'm like, man, I'm so glad I freaking did that shit. Lauren was working. She was living 100 miles away. So I didn't see her during the week at all. This is obviously way before we had our baby girl. And I mean, if I wouldn't have worked, I would have gotten into trouble anyway. So I just busted my ass. I got those hours and I got plenty of experience in because I was the only trainer there. So I worked with everybody. So I got a chance to work with a lot of different kind of people, different bodies, different movement modalities. And, it was just great. And I look back and there's so much of my experience from those first few years has really carried over into present day and helped me today.
I'm glad you just mentioned something that I think gets overlooked a lot is as a trainer, you are going to be a gym janitor at first.
Exactly.
Like you are going to be picking up weights, wiping machines down, picking up the towels that people leave all over the place. Like I don't think that trainers know that. A lot of people, even when I would work at Lifetime, they would have a break and they wouldn't do anything. And they'd be like, oh, go pick up the weights. And they're like, oh, I have to do that? And it's like,
oh, yeah.
It's part of the job.
Well, I remember, and I know I'm kind of over talking. I'm going to let Eric take over after this. But so did you ever meet Sean? Did you ever meet Sean Bryan at Wellington? You met him,
yeah.
So Sean's been my coach for the last 3 years. We've actually, we started training me when I worked at BSC with him. And, we trained during the pandemic. We actually worked out together outside in the summertime, which was fun, obviously. But I'll be honest with you, the main reason I worked with him, because when I came to BSC, there were a lot of coaches. There were a lot of great coaches there. Yeah. Like, there was this guy, there was you, there was Derek, the manager, there was Mike. I mean, there was like great, really good coaches there. And the reason I settled for working with him was in between his sessions, he went and grabbed the Ghostbusters vacuum cleaner.
Oh yeah, I remember
vacuuming up the turf.
Oh my God.
Was freaking wiping machines down, was putting equipment away. And not only was he cleaning up his crap, he was cleaning up after some of the other freaking coaches that left their shit out.
It's funny.
And was picking up after them to make the place
that,
more organized for the clients coming in. And he was like busting his ass and in a hurry to get it done before his next session. I'm like, dude, this is my guy. He's gonna bust his ass, and he has that Mamba mentality. Like I'm gonna commit to the job, to the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
It's overlooked a lot. People I don't think they realize that you're not just going to get hired at a gym and your entire schedule is going to be filled with clients. There's going to be a lot of downtime where you're going to be cleaning.
I think you're going to start off and just make all this money and you're going to have a flexible schedule and it's going to be amazing. You're going to, accrue your millions immediately and live your laptop lifestyle on the beach. And it's get out of here, dude.
Yeah, no, agreed. Well, this is actually a good segue for Casey. So I was going to say, what would your advice be to your younger self?
My younger self, be patient. You don't need to. I thought I needed to get everywhere so fast. Like I needed to have this job and get to this point, and I kind of overlooked the journey part of it. And I was just trying to get to an end goal. And now I'm all about the journey, man. It's just enjoy the path and see where it takes you, because where you think you might want to go, halfway through that journey, that path might take you somewhere else and it leads somewhere even better. And if you're closed-minded, you're not going to see those little paths off to the side. You're only going to have that tunnel focus towards that one goal. And when you get there, it might be a disappointment, and those other paths could have led to something better. So be more not so tunnel visioned and kind of enjoy the journey.
Yeah, expand your horizons. Be open to anything, really.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's easier.
When I first started, it was I'm going to be an intern at Mike Boyle's. I'm going to work at Mike Boyle's, and then I'm going to be a college strength and conditioning coach.
Yes,
that's what I thought. Those were my 3 things, and that's like what I was focused on. And I started watching. I was looking at all for college jobs, and you'd see guys get a job, and next year new coaches would come in, and that guy's job would be gone. And he moved across the country to go take a job for 1 year, and now he's back at square one. And I was like, do I really want that? And I'm close with my family, so I like being in the Boston area. So I didn't really want to move and uproot for maybe a year to go work at a college, and all of a sudden they changed their entire coaching staff, and that guy's got a strength coach that he's bringing in, and next thing I know, I'm out of a job and moving back home with my parents.
Presidential administration, right? The new president gets elected. It's like, oh, you're fired.
You're out. And so it was, where do I want to go? And it took me up until pretty much to the current to kind of figure that out.
It's trial and error, right? You got to try. You're learn by doing. You only know if you try it. You can imagine it and dream it all you want, but until you try, it may not be for you. Like you said, the tunnel vision in your head, maybe it seemed right at the time, but in reality, you weren't sure yet. Until you do it, how would you know? So it's good to explore different things and things that come up over time, and then say, okay, maybe I'll try this out, and then something sticks in you, and then there you go, you stay with it. So
yeah, that's why I'm I like where I'm at now. I can do personal training if I want, and I have a lot of all my clients that have online programming, I love to program. So, that's the fun part. It's kind of like putting the puzzles together for people.
Yeah, I agree.
And with the pandemic and everything that just hit, money's tight for people. So I wanted to make health and fitness something that's affordable, because that's what's important right now, being healthy. I don't like being stuck inside all the time. So more people we can get healthy, maybe the more we go back to kind of that normal lifestyle that we once knew a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
We can go back out and, be social again. And
God, seriously.
Yeah.
So being able to make it affordable was definitely something I wanted. I don't think people should only be able to afford one workout a week, because what are you going to get out of working out 1 day a week? 1 hour out of 7 days a week. That's really not going to be much. So anyone that signs up for my program, they come here and get coaching, and they can come here and work out for free. And my yard is fenced in. I'm a dog-friendly gym. It's a little cold. My dog's inside hiding under the blankets right now because he's a whip.
Draco.
If it's like under 20 degrees, like he doesn't get up till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon when the sun's out.
Yeah. Nano, I have to drag Nano out of bed in the morning. Also.
I took him to go to the bathroom before this. It was like I was fighting him to get him outside. He peed like right outside the door and ran back in. He was like, "I'm good."
But I thought you had a vicious Pitbull and an unstoppable killing machine. That's
exactly. He's a killer. But if you turn on the vacuum or if you put the wind.
Oh my God, yeah. it's like a chainsaw for them, right? It's the scariest thing in the world.
That vacuum cleaner. Whoo! He's a 90-pound pit bull that you walk down the street with him, and people are picking up their dogs crossing the street. But I turned that vacuum cleaner on, and he is hiding in his cage.
So funny. I've got my dog Nano. She's like half Draco size, and she's like a probably like a pit bull, some kind of mix. She's from the South, and she's scared of houseflies. Like if a fly gets into the house, forget about it, dude. She looks like it was a Charlie Sheen was in Platoon. Was it Charlie Sheen?
Yeah.
Like looking up at the trees, like, oh my God, Charlie's in the trees, and she's like tweaking and twitching and running around. It's like I don't think it's funny that she's afraid, but it's also just like it's a fly.
Yeah.
They outnumber us by a lot.
These big wild animals, but yet they're scared of the littlest things in your house.
Yeah. You're like, come on, man.
Yeah, Casey, I think you made a good point too. You alluded to it. It's a sense of community. I think that's what you're building right now with the garage.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm trying. I want to. I know CrossFit gets a lot of shit here and there. Excuse my language, but I mean, one thing I think they did great was build a community of people. I mean,
like more people. Yeah.
I've really come around. I've come around a lot with CrossFit the last few years, especially with the pandemic and the need for more minimalist,
Yeah. Their community is great. They do things together. They have all these competitions. They're always hanging out together. If you follow any of them on social media, they're always doing stuff together outside of the gym and having different events. And that's something I want to do here. And, in the summertime, I'll have a barbecue out there, and you can just stay after your workout and hang out. I'll have a fridge, bring your food. If you want to cook it up on my grill after and hang out for a little while, awesome. Like, let's hang out. Bring your dogs, bring your family. Like, I think the big community thing is we've lost that with the pandemic. People have gone.
Absolutely. Especially like with New England, right? It's cold as hell in the wintertime. So we really have to capitalize that in the spring, summer, and even into the fall, depending on how kind the fall is to us.
That's what I'm really looking to build as it gets a little bit warmer. I mean, it's very easy to get comfortable staying home and staying inside. I mean, I'm very comfortable right now where it's so cold, not doing anything, but that's not healthy in the long run. I mean, those days are great once in a while, a cold Sunday, kind of just stay in, cook, and, spend some time with your dog or your family, but that can't be every day.
Got to get out and do stuff. Yeah.
Get out, get that sunshine. So hopefully this New England starts to figure it out a little bit, because it's 19 today, but tomorrow it says it's going to be in the 50s. So, I mean, who the hell knows? It snowed yesterday, and last weekend it was, I was walking the lake in Wakefield with like a short sleeve T-shirt on.
I know. I actually broke a sweat. I was in sweatpants and a sweatshirt walking my dog and my daughter outside, and I started sweating. I took my sweatshirt off and my sweatpants. I'm like, I'm in shorts and a shirt and a T-shirt in Boston in February. What the hell's happening?
Now today we're back in our snowsuits and our Canadian geese jackets because it's so goddamn cold up here.
So crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was just saying too, like the programming side of things, like how have things changed from when you started to now from a programming standpoint? And this could be like I said with your clients.
So a lot of my programming, I am big on like basic movements. Push, pull, legs, core, carry. You can break the legs down into, hinge, knee flexion and all those. And just big on basic movements. I believe everyone should be able to do like the big movements. Like you should be able to squat. Now that could be a body weight squat, a goblet squat, a front squat, a back squat, safety bar squat. I mean, that's going to be varied by your clients and, what their goals are and what they want to do. You got a high school kid or a college kid that wants to get into powerlifting. All right, we're going to do some barbell back squats. If my mom comes in and she wants to get her legs stronger, we're going to probably do some goblet squats with her. Or I have a belt squat here too, which is great. So it's just, you put the belt on and it's on a pendulum and you just squat there and it takes all the pressure off of your back. Gives you a little bit of some traction too on your hips, which is nice. It doesn't have to hold anything. It actually has a handle that you can hold in front. So if you have people that are maybe a little bit worried about their balance or they have some balance issues, it gives them something to hold on to, and you can teach them that squatting pattern while they're still feeling comfortable and safe. And other movements too. I think everyone should be able to pick something safely up off the floor.
Yes.
Everyone should be able to deadlift. That doesn't need to be a straight bar. It could be a kettlebell. It could be a trap bar. Could even be a dumbbell. Could be anything really. But I feel every person, from a kid to an adult, should be able to pick something safely up off the floor because it's just a good life skill to have. I mean, everyone in their life's probably picked something up wrong and got a little tweak in their back, and they're like, "Oh, this is awful." So, push-ups or any type of pushing movements, again, for young kids to adults. I mean, if you fall as an old person, you should be able to pick yourself up off the ground. You should be able to push yourself up. So, same with like pull-ups. I look at it as from, if you want to build muscle as a young kid, you should be able to do pull-ups. If you're an old, if you're in your, elderly, you should be doing pull movements because again, if you fall, you should be able to hold on to something and be able to pull yourself back up.
Absolutely, You think about like getting out of the bathtub too, right? Like grabbing the bar and be able to pull yourself up, out of the tub or off the toilet. I mean, all jokes aside, seriously.
Yeah, so totally true.
I look at a lot of those as like life skills now too. And then, I like to have some fun in the programming too. If, you got, your clients, they obviously want to look a certain way. A lot of people are coming to you for an aesthetic goal. Like I want to lose a certain amount of weight. I want my pants to fit a certain way. I want to look like this in the mirror. You still got to do all your basic movements with them.
Yeah.
You still got to do all the basics, and then you could mix in the fun stuff at the end, throw in your bicep curls and, your dips and all that other stuff. Those are like sprinkled in. I think like Ben Bruno uses it a lot. You have like your main course. Those are like your main exercises. Then you got your side dishes. So those are like your accessories. And then you got cardio. That's like a little sprinkle here and there.
Yeah, 100%. Everything you said is exactly how I think, in a way, obviously we put our own flavor on it as coaches. It's going to be different amongst all of us, but I think that the common theme of everyone squats, everyone hinges, pushes, pulls, and you related it to everyday life, which is awesome that you said that, because I think people need to hear that. But that's the key, because I think once people hear that, if you tell somebody, okay, this is why we're doing X, Y, or Z, they're more apt to buy into the process. So I think that's you know that, and I 100% agree. And like I said, then you throw the flavor on it. You get. I train some kids now. I mean, I say kids, early 20s. They're like, dude, I want big arms and shoulders. I say, okay, man, like I'll give you that pump in that area because you want that, of course. But the main ingredients stay the same. We're still going to do the basics. It's not going to go away. And I think Mike even said it. Mike Boyle, in one of his recent talks, was saying, like, when you go through like a fitness evaluation with somebody, typically they could care less, at least as the coach, what they say about like what they previously did and things like that. Because a lot of times, like, they'll give you BS because like they hear that things on online or whatever else, like, oh, I need that, my booty to grow, or I need my biceps to grow. In reality, like a lot of these movements you do, the effect of that will be to your goals. You know what I mean? If you do a lot of pushing and pulling, your arms will just grow without even doing bicep curls.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I've done kettlebell training for the last like 2.5, almost 3 years. And I just put on my Mark Bell slingshot for the first time in like 2 years, and it's tighter around my arm. My arms have gotten bigger from pressing, and pulling just a kettlebell. Yeah. I haven't really done many pull-ups.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been very minimalist training. And
but I think too, meeting their likes and dislikes, right? So clients, a lot of times I'll ask clients, what exercises do you like or have you done before? Or what exercises do you dislike? And then also like any exercises give you pain, you know what I mean? Like you want to sort of dig a little deeper. I'm sure you do that. You guys do it with your clients, but questions obviously don't fly. You got to make sure you're digging a little deeper and asking open-ended questions. So.
Yeah. I always ask them what exercises did they do before and why they didn't like them.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
Then I try to dig a little bit more. Why didn't you like them? And if it's just because that they were hard, then we're still going to do them.
Yeah, 100%.
If you don't like them because they're hard, I'm sorry, we're still going to do them. But if you don't like them because they hurt, if they cause pain, okay, then we'll find an alternative to that exercise.
Yeah.
But if you just don't like doing them because they hurt, or they're tough to do, or they burn,
right. That's not a good excuse.
Yeah,
if you have an injury, obviously you got to work around that. But in reality, most people just do it because they don't like it, a particular exercise. Like, I don't want to do this because it hurts this, or as far as it just burns.
Oh, sure. And I mean, the truth of it is training is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You're making yourself uncomfortable
your body,
to elicit, physiological, neurological, and musculoskeletal adaptations, right? Like that's where we don't, you don't get stronger by doing the same thing every single day at the same weight, the same rep scheme, right? Like you have to progress.
And you gotta learn the differentiations between what is actually hurting and what is just a deep muscle burn that maybe you've never felt before.
Yes.
So you've never pushed an exercise, maybe past that, closer to the failure point, and your muscles are now starting to scream. Mm-hmm. Maybe you've never felt that, and all of a sudden, like, oh, that hurts. It's like, okay, well, we gotta, what type of pain is that? And there's a difference between this is hurting you, or this is just a burning pain that maybe it's a sensation you've never felt.
Yeah.
I mean, you ever go for a long run and all of a sudden your lungs are on fire? It's like, oh man, I've never felt this before. What, am I having a heart attack? Like, what is
the next day you feel like you're the Tin Man, your legs are stiff and sore.
My chest is burning. I'm like, am I supposed to feel like this? It's like, okay, I haven't pushed myself running like this in a long time.
Yeah.
Or So it's just a new feeling.
Yeah, no, 100%. Any other questions?
No, man, that was all great stuff, Casey. I love all the lessons and takeaways. And again, I mentioned this before. You and I we have different backgrounds, but we have very similar values, which I think is cool. Very, very similar values as far as what we focus on when it comes to coaching, and honestly, our own development as well. And I love that. That garage gym you have is sick, dude. I love the U.S. flag in the background. I don't want to get too political because it tends to take us down a rabbit hole. But I love a good, healthy dose of patriotism. I don't want to be a nationalist or any crazy flag waving psycho or anything like that. But I like pride in your nation, and I think that's really cool. So
yeah, I have the flag hung up in here. It's mainly for all the troops. I have very Mike DiGregorio is a very close friend of mine. He served. That's up there to honor him and to honor all the other people that allow me to have this gym.
Yeah.
I mean, they're out there fighting for our freedom so I can be a trainer and have a gym at my house. And so, that's just there as a reminder to, never take, this for granted.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm all about it, man. I've got a lot of military in my family as well. And it's just not to get too political, but you can love your country and want things to change because we're all, this is still a work in progress. We're actually a very young nation anyway.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that we do need to work on collectively to push ourselves forward, but we don't have to fall into the extreme camp, right? Yeah. On either side.
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
Actually, it's like training, right? You don't only use one training tool or modality. You use a combination of them. The answer is it depends.
Yeah.
So
you're just blue collar here, man. It's no frills, and it's hard work in here. That's it. I mean, we're all free weights, and I got like 1 or 2 machines, and that's about it. And it's just come in, get the workout, and work hard, and that's it. I mean, you're going to get your results. There's not going to be anything fancy, or we're not going to be doing anything crazy in here. It's just going to be just that old blue collar hard work. And
there you go.
I love it. Yeah, and that's what I've always loved about the gym is regardless of people's walks of life and their careers, that it always kind of has that blue collar vibe to it. You're doing, and it doesn't. And I don't really care if you're doing a machine chest press or a dumbbell bench press or a push up or a barbell or a kettlebell. Like if you're in there to work hard, make yourself better. That's awesome. I mean, if that's one thing we have in common, and that's a very important value investment for me. So we may not agree like politically or religiously or whatever, but if you're in there to work hard and get better, that's a huge thing, huge box checked off for me. We have a lot more in common than you think. So
I don't have very many rules in my gym, but there's 2 rules: no religious and no political talk when you're working out. You leave that at the door.
There we go.
Like the weights don't give a shit what you like and what you don't like. 100 pounds is 100 pounds.
That's right. That's right. And again, like progress and regress accordingly. Yeah. So we adapt the training to the person.
Yeah. What would your biggest takeaways be? Just give us some snippets.
Sorry, say that one more time.
The biggest takeaways, just in general, just for people, whether it's the fitness industry or just in general, what biggest takeaways, from our perspective?
So biggest takeaway for the fitness industry, like I said earlier, is just be patient. There's so much to learn, and there's so many good people out there to learn from. Don't rush into, I'm going to be this guy right away.
Yeah.
Because you might love kettlebells and you might want to be the kettlebell guy, which is great, but learn the other stuff too.
Absolutely.
You'll go back to that. But if you only get into that, you're going to close so many other doors of learning that you're going to eventually, those doors, you're going to have to come back and you're going to have to backpedal and then try to figure out all that again later because you're so focused on one. So that's just being patient and just be a lifelong learner, because there's always going to be something to learn. You're never going to know everything.
Yep.
And once you think you know everything, that's the time to find a new position and a new job, because
it never ends.
Head in the water if you think you know everything.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll get taken.
And a takeaway in life: don't be an asshole. I mean, just be a nice person. It's not hard to be nice. Just walk by people, smile, say hello. You don't know what everyone's going through. Someone could be having a bad day, and shooting them a smile and just saying hello, passing by, could be a huge difference. So that's one thing I've been trying to do is I walk my dog. I say hello to everyone I walk by, and people probably like, who the hell is this weirdo walking around just saying hi to everyone? But I mean, you say hi to the one person that could change their day. So, you know, they could be having a bad day.
Totally true.
All of a sudden, some random kid says hello, and they strike up a conversation, and you know, next thing you know, you change their mood for the day. So,
yeah,
absolutely.
Doesn't all to be nice.
Yeah. And where can people find you?
On Instagram, it's just my name, Casey Munsen. So CASEYMUNSEN. Same on Facebook, but mostly I'm on Instagram. So people, if they want to message me, my profile is public, so you can just shoot me DMs or whatever you want.
Okay. And then email
send me funny videos. If you got dog pictures, I'm very welcome to dogs pictures in the DM.
Always dog photos. Yeah, always dog
photos. Eric, don't be sending me any like shirtless, flexing videos after this. I don't want any of those anymore.
Yeah.
I'll try not to. We'll see.
Yeah, when he says he wants DPs sent to his DMs, that's dog pictures, not what you're speaking about.
Exactly. That weird stuff.
That's not that stuff you did in your 20s, Eric. No.
But yeah, we're gonna have to get you guys in for a workout too.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And Nano, I'm sure Nano would love to come too. So.
Of course, dogs are always welcome. Like I said, my whole yard's fenced in, so people bring their dogs to work out. I let them out; they can run around the yard. Bring them in the gym, so they can hang out. Got dog beds.
Draco to use his size and beat Nano up, beat her up, and give her a good workout. Dude.
Yeah, he's a big wimp. I don't know. He gets pushed around at daycare by the little dogs, so he's got a little.
Well, Nano's kind of a bully, so that Nano's a bit of a bully, so he might get beat up. That's so funny.
Awesome. Start us off, lightning round.
Yeah. All right, man. So let's go. We'll go into lightning round, and this is my first question. This is from prior knowledge: boxer or Pitbull?
Oh man, this is tough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say Pitbull because my first boxer was so good that I'm never gonna get another one. So.
Yeah, no, it's understandable. Yeah, and boxers they're great dogs too. So
you set the bar way too high, and I don't think I could ever get another boxer.
Yeah, well, that's a testament to that dog and that bond that you had. It's obviously very special. So it's
that was different.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Favorite exercise.
Favorite exercise: deadlifts.
Yep. What particular style do you prefer? Trap bar, sumo?
Mostly conventional straight bar. But I do like to mix in sumo for just my hips, but I don't tend to push the weight too much on that. For sumos, I'll stick a little bit more lighter and higher reps, just for my hip health.
Yeah.
I set any records. I'm not really built for sumo. Yeah. Every time I sumo, my ad doctors just light up for like 3 days after if I go too heavy. So it's just one of those ones where I've learned, I've pushed it a few times and I've learned, okay, this just isn't, I'm not built for this. I'm a little bit more built for conventional deadlifting. So I stick with that.
No, I hear you. Favorite piece of equipment to train yourself with?
Favorite piece of equipment to train myself? I'm just going to go with the good old barbell. It's just so versatile. I mean,
very versatile.
You got to, all anyone needs is a barbell and some bumper plates and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love using the barbell for, you can set it up. And this is one of the things I will say I do love the Smith machine for, is the inverted rows. You can do rows on it. You can do, not incline. Yeah, incline push-ups.
Yeah, you elevate your feet too.
Elevate push-ups, that kind of stuff. So there's
I think doing push-ups with the barbell, like set up and like elevating your feet, because it actually it'll teach people to use their arms a little bit more in the bench press and push.
That's true.
Kind of push away from the bar.
Yeah.
The opposite. You're flipping them over into a push-up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I
saw a video on that earlier today, actually.
That's awesome.
You kind of get that feeling. I got it from Louis Simmons. I watched one of his videos, and he does it with a lot of his guys. He calls them the Louis push-up.
The barbell makes a lot of sense too, because you have to squeeze the bar tight, right? They maintain a good strong grip, so the bar doesn't rotate. So I would say that's even better carryover into
100%
into that.
Yeah, what's your go-to music when you train?
Go-to music, hip hop usually. Mostly depends on the day, but if it's like a deadlift day, it's going to be pretty much DMX and Eminem for the most part.
Okay. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah. Some of the other days, like leg days, I'll kind of switch it up. But for the most part, if I'm in here working out by myself, it's a lot of like gangster rap, a lot of swears, a lot of like hard beats, and just kind of drown it out.
Yeah, when you're training your clients, obviously you'll listen to what they want to listen to, right?
Yeah, so we have a Spotify playlist here that I just send out, and everyone just adds to it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's all. That way it's everyone's kind of
a community playlist, a community Spotify playlist that anyone that comes here, they can add songs if they have songs that they like, they can add them to the playlist.
I love it. So
except if it's country.
Oh, go ahead. What were we saying?
I said except if it's country. No country music allowed during workouts.
No country. No, not for
barbecue, and you want to play country music in the barbecue, go for it, but not while we're lifting.
That's awesome. All right, so you get a phone call from Vince McMahon. You have been hired to the WWE. You're taking on The Rock for the heavyweight championship of the world. What is your walkout song?
My walkout song?
Yeah.
It's my walkout song for everything. Notorious B.I.G. I love it when you call me Big Papa.
I love when you call me Big Papa. That's great. I love that song. It's so
That beat is awesome too.
That's a great
song. Just gets me. Anytime anyone asks me what my walkout song is, it's that. I don't know why, but that song just makes me so happy. It gives me like a good vibe.
I've listened to that song so many times, like over the years, obviously. Like I play it. We're reaching an age where I'm going to have to start editing the music with my daughter, but I've been playing a lot of the regular unedited stuff. But I always do the put your hands in the play or your hands in the play. And I do that with her hands, and she just looks at me like, "What are you doing, Dad?"
Something about that song. It gives me good vibes. So that's my walkout song always.
I love it. I love it.
What's one book recommendation?
Supple Leopard.
Double Leopard's going. Yeah.
Agreed.
I think especially for everyone like getting started out, because you're gonna, for general population people, a lot of people are gonna have pain, and it just comes from everyday life. So a lot of his stretches, I think, are just in his mobility stuff. I think it's amazing. So I think that's just something.
Because he actually works hard. He actually lifts, and he actually is a lifter. Like he's not one of those guys. It's just like in the corner doing his stretches, and that's it.
He's not Gumby over there with the lacrosse ball, stuck in his butt cheek the whole time. Like he's putting in, he's putting in the time and the effort in the gym. So he's a beast.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. He's actually really jacked.
And obviously, if you're, obviously Mike Boyle's books, those are just.
Yeah, those are good ones. Yeah.
I feel like anyone that's getting started in strength and conditioning, that should be your first book that you buy.
Along with the certification, right? Along with the CFC.
Yep, get that certification. If you can, I know, when you get started, money's tight. I know that. So I always say, just go and buy all his books, read all his books, and then take a certification after. Once you can afford it, get into, get training, because as you know, with the trainer certifications and everything, it gets expensive.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
So, when you first get started out, you're spending a lot of money to get started, and you're not making a lot of money. So it's like a lot's going out, not a lot's coming back in. So it can get a little overwhelming at first, but yeah, definitely all his books and Kelly's, I think, are great starting points.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, I couldn't agree more. This will be my last one, because this one will take you a little, actually maybe not that long, but this will be my last one. Your Mount Rushmore of hip hop artists.
I like that. That's a good question.
All right. So was that 4?
Yeah. 4.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to put Eminem up there because he's just fantastic. We're gonna
Pioneer. In many ways, Pioneer. Got to be up there.
Eminem's up there. Biggie's up there. Oh, this is going to be tough because now.
You said M and then Biggie so far, right? Eminem, Biggie.
Yep, Eminem, Biggie. I don't want to be cliche and say like Tupac and Snoop, because that's just like too easy. So let's
and then it's East Coast versus West Coast, right? That's where it gets really hard.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Logic, so I'm going to put Logic up there. I think Logic is he's great rap.
Wow.
I love his Bobby Tarantino and his boom trap and all that great rap. I love all that. So we'll go with 2 new guys, 2 old guys. So we'll go Biggie and Eminem for my 2 oldies. And we're going to go Logic and probably J. Cole.
Yeah, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Actually,
like 2 new guys and my 2 oldies. So we'll go 2 new, 2 old. So Eminem and Biggie, and J. Cole and Logic.
That's great. And if anybody wants to comment below and let us know what your Mount Rushmore of MCs would be, let us know. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
So that'd be a lot of content there.
For some new rap for the gym too. I just got recently into King Von. I like some of King Von stuff.
Nice.
Oh, never heard of him.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
He got killed recently, so every time a rapper gets killed, all his songs pop up on Spotify. So
Hashtag Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
Pop Smoke's got.
yeah, I mean a lot of the new stuff I have trouble because I can't understand what they're saying.
Nice, the beats. I know the
probably
beats.
like what my dad used to say about when I would listen to rap. I can't understand what these guys are saying.
Yeah.
Our parents' generation, I don't think I was a big fan of the rap stuff, but I like the beats too. Think about it. Like when I'm like lifting weights, like hearing certain beats, like just gets you fired up.
Yeah, certain beats now are great, but the lyrics, I'm like, oh.
Oh, lyrics are terrible. That's where, like you said, somebody like Eminem was a lyricist. It was awesome. Like his beats were good on top. He had Dre beats with lyrics, so it's like you want to hear about it.
And his flow and cadence are just like, I've listened to his songs obviously many times over, and I still can't sing along to a lot of the verses because it's just too fast. I can't.
My dad's a big Eminem fan too. I got my dad into Eminem. He listens to so many works out and stuff now. All of a sudden he'll like bust out rap lyrics and stuff, or like we'll get in the car for a ride and he'll just throw an Eminem on his iPod or something. I'm like, this is cool. I get down with this. Then we switch it over to like Michael McDonald or the Beatles or something right after.
I dig it, man. I honestly, I listen to that old '60s classic rock too, man. I love it.
Good to switch it up. 80s rock's good too. Like 80s rock, 90s grunge rock, Nirvana, things like that. Metallica.
Big time, man.
Put on 80s rock, you feel like you're in a movie montage working out.
No, exactly, man. You're like Rocky or Rambo, working out, getting ready to take on the Russian.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's your dad joke? Give us your dad joke.
My dad joke? Oh, should I say the one I used last time?
It's up to you.
All right. I had a joke about COVID, but I don't want to spread it.
That's good. That's actually really good.
Said it last time, but we didn't get it caught on camera, so you gotta get it.
I got my old one from when I was a kid that my dad used to tell me that was like kind of a dirty joke when I was a kid, but I thought it was wicked funny. What did the ghost say to the bee? Booby.
Oh wow. That's really good. I like that.
What did the police officer say to the belly button?
What did the police officer say to the belly button? Oh man, I don't know.
You're under a vest.
That's really good. I actually saw that one on a popsicle stick one time when I was a kid. Remember those popsicle stick jokes? Yeah. Oh man.
Those are the best. The rocket pops, the red, white, and blue ones.
Oh, oh my God. It's like 500 grams of sugar in one of those things, man. It's ridiculous. How do athletes stay cool? Or how are they able to stay cool?
How are athletes able to stay cool? I don't know.
They have a lot of fans. Yeah. There we go. It's pretty good. I don't know. I think Casey won that round. That was good.
I wasn't prepared. I should have looked one up.
Okay. Well, I'll be honest with you. I usually Google one right before. Every once in a while, I know combinations of a bunch of them, so I can a lot of times
reuse them though now.
Yeah, I'm definitely reusing, and I'm like recycle, but I can sometimes I can put it together too and kind of make it into a double dad joke. So
no, I like it. I like that you got the dad jokes. I listened to another podcast with Mark Bell and his old one, and he used to make all his guests tell a poop story, so it's always funny.
Oh wow! I love Mark Bell. He's really funny. He's a really smart guy. Yeah, and he's really, but I love his balance of like he's a he was like power lifter, now like more into bodybuilding. He's transitioned, but he's a
balance of
exactly. Almost like Steffi Cohen kind of went the route that Steffi Cohen kind of did, got into boxing.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So, but I love Mark Bell.
You got a great balance of being a businessman and being a relatable human being.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, his big thing is he says, I'm a meathead millionaire. He's like, I'm a successful business owner and I've got a gym, a super training gym and all that. But I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm just a guy that likes to work out. And he says, I don't even look, he's like, I'm not a handsome guy. He's very brutally honest about himself. He's like, I work out, I'm big and jacked and all that stuff. But I used to be just one really big fat guy that just lifted heavy weights. And I just stumbled on something and got lucky. I mean, I like how humble he is.
Yeah, I like him because sometimes you get those successful business guys and they're just too businessy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Agreed. And then you can't relate to them.
I mean, imagine doing a product presentation with Mark Bell, and he's like showing you his next version of the slingshot. He's like, "Hey, you want to go work out? Let's go do let's do bench."
He's the type of guy I want to buy all his stuff because of the way he presents himself and the way he presents it. It's like, he's not trying to shove it down your throat. And he's just showing you what it is, and it works. And if you want to get it, you get it.
I will say I've got my slingshot. I've had it it's actually sitting in our that bin over there. I've had it for 5 years, and it's still, it hasn't lost any elasticity. And
I've had mine for 8. I've had mine for 8 years, and it's still unbelievable. I'm gonna order one of every color for my gym because I think
it's like the medium and what is the boar?
Yeah, it's like the full bore, which was named after his brother Chris, and then you got the Mad Dog one, which was
Mad Dog. That's right. That's right.
The brother Mad Dog, and then he's got the red one, which was the original, and then the blue one, which is the light one. That's when I have the blue one.
Red, I've got the red one because it was the perfect size for my arms and for the weights I was using.
And I think that thing is great for push-ups.
Oh my God,
sure
yeah.
It is,
well, I had so many clients when I first started training. They wanted to bench press, and whether it was rotator cuff or some kind of shoulder injury or overuse injury, they could still bench because it takes that pressure off in the bottom stretch position, and then they're just emphasizing the lockout. But then again, it's good for powerlifters too. So it's a really versatile tool.
I do with almost every one of my clients if you can't do push-ups, and you're at an elevated and we're working our way down, instead of doing that, I put them in the slingshot because they get more, and it forces your elbows because of the way it works. It tucks you right in, and it puts you in that perfect push-up position.
It really does.
And banging out sets in that. Next thing you know, they take that off, and they're just crushing them because they've ingrained that movement pattern in.
That's it. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. No, I couldn't agree more, man. It's a great freaking tool.
100%.
Well, Casey, I don't want to take up any more of your time, man. And I especially appreciate you hopping on for take 2. I will say I did have to leave, really suddenly last time. Luckily it wasn't a real emergency. It was just my daughter just needed milk. She needed dad to give her the bottle. So, it's all good.
Of course. That's an emergency.
Yeah. I think we had a good take 2.
Yeah, but it was good. This was a great podcast. Off camera later on, we're definitely going to reach out to you and talk to you about kind of a networking mastermind thing that we have in mind to kind of work on, and something I think you'd be interested, especially with your emphasis on the community aspect. So stay tuned for that. So I want to thank you so much for your time, brother. It was awesome catching up with you.
Me.
And
Nano, what's up?
Nano, look, Nano. There you go. She's like, come on, Dad. We're definitely going to come by your gym. I want to hit that belt squat. I want to hang out with Draco and just love all over him and give him some chicken treats and do all that. And hopefully have Nano beat him up a little bit. They can get their workout in. And
we got plenty of toys. I got a bunch of barbells and different fun stuff to use. So chains and bands and all the toys. So
you're saying we'll meet you at the bar. That sounds good.
Yeah, let's go.
You had me at bar. So
whiskey and deadlifts on Sunday afternoons.
I love it. I love it. That sounds like a winner. Well, brother, thank you so much. And I want to thank all of you so much for tuning in for another episode of Deadlifts, Dogs, and Dad Jokes. We're here to help you become your strongest self while having fun along the way. I hope you got some great takeaways from this conversation with Mr. Casey Munsen like we did. And as always, remember to train your body, feed your mind.
Thanks, fellas.